Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'd like to introduce you to another wonderful Etsy seller. If Apple Pig is new to you, you are in for a treat. And if you're already familiar with the magic of Apple Pig, then let this just kind of be a reminder of how amazing Ting is. So as per usual, I will put links in the description to everything I talk about today. So if you'd like to grab something for yourself or a gift for someone else, you'll find those links in the description. Then I will also put timestamps in the first pinned comment in case you'd like to jump ahead, because we're going to talk about the Traveler's Notebook, which is my new favorite. It's what I'm going to be using as my everyday carry from now on. And we will talk about some of the leather choices. We'll do a brief overview of those, and then I'll do a separate video going into detail about them. So let's get started with the amazingness of Apple Pig. Ting is located in Taiwan. He is this incredible master leather craftsman, and he designs these amazing layouts for journal covers and traveler's notebooks in configurations that I personally have never seen with another company. And it's the kind of thing where I've seen the videos, I've seen people unboxing them, I've seen Ting describe them on his own channel, which I'll link below. There is a Facebook group of avid Apple Pig fans who buy, sell, and trade and also talk about, what they're interested in. I've seen all this. I've seen all the listings. I've seen all the leathers on my screen. But until I got it in my hands, I don't think I fully appreciated the absolute artistry that's involved here. This is, in my opinion, this is the Ferrari or the Lamborghini of traveler's notebooks. And so there are others that are priced similarly to his, but in my opinion, he is far and away better than everybody else. And I know that comparison is the thief of joy, as Theodore Roosevelt said, and I probably shouldn't compare them head to head because they all have their special features, and that's true. But I can tell you that when I opened this weekend, I literally jumped up and down. I literally just was over the moon and speechless about how fantastic Ting's work is. So I wanted to make sure to give him a really special shout out today and cover the joys of the Traveler's Notebook, and then I'm also going to give you an intro to some of the leathers. So his packaging is exquisite. He puts so much care into the packaging. It's going a long way. This went from Taiwan to, I believe, Chicago, to the international kind of hub of USPS. Then it went through Cincinnati, then it came to me, and it got here just, absolutely perfectly, nicely packed. Lots of, you have the original box, then you have all the bubble wrap to keep it secure. Then you have packaging around it. He has a handwritten note. I'm not going to read you my handwritten note because I think that unboxing these is kind of a holy experience, and I want you to read your own note that he writes you. But again, just the personal touch is incredible. On the outside of the package, we have just kind of an extra rubber band here with his logo, and you can use that as an additional closure. You can use it to keep pages open. You can use it just in your house when you need a random rubber band. You could use it as a hair tie, probably. And then he also includes some additional elastics, which is always useful. The other thing that's included in the package, at least in my case, is a Traveler's Notebook insert. This has 128 pages, which is so rare, so I'm very grateful to have it. You may or may not receive an insert, and the reason has to do with the shipping cost. If there's a little wiggle room between what you ordered and like that ounce of shipping for international shipping, then he will include the book. If this book is going to kick it over a notch and you're going to have to pay exorbitantly for the additional ounce, then he won't include it. He just doesn't like to pass on random extra costs to customers for no reason. So I really appreciate that, but hopefully you will get an insert. This paper is fantastic, and he makes them by hand, and he stamps it with his mark there. The other thing that I got, because I specifically requested it for my channel, because I wanted to be able to show you the choices, are leather samples. And these are in coaster format. And he puts his logo down in the corner with Apple Pig. So super sweet. I will run you through those in just a second. And then, are you ready for this? I need to have like Andrea Bocelli playing Sogno in the background with that soaring vocal as I show you probably, no, definitely, the best traveler's notebook I have ever had in my hand. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. When you watch unboxing videos and people gush and they tell you how phenomenal it feels and oh, they just want to sit around and smell it all day because the scent is so amazing, they're right. They're absolutely right. It's worth all the kudos, all the accolades, all the compliments. Okay, it's superlative in every way. What makes it superlative? So first of all, the customization aspect. You go to Etsy. I will put the link in the description to Ting's shop, and I will put the link in the description to how this starts. So you choose the color that you want, and you click on the basic traveler's notebook for it. Okay? So in this case, it would be Naughty Fox, traveler's notebook. And it's just going to be that base piece of leather, like a Midori TN, right? No special things. Then you've got that in your basket, and then you select the pocket configuration that you want. And that's where it gets so much fun, because there are so many different pocket configurations that he has already posted on Etsy, and you can contact him to design something that you have in your mind that you think would work really well for your traveler's notebook. If you want to do like folio style with secretarial pockets or folio pockets that are sewn, so you can slip in books into the covers, you can do that. You could do a combination. Somebody made one that had bands and rings. Yeah, that's right, bands and rings. So mine looks like this. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? We'll go through all the details of the pockets in a moment. But let's talk about measurements. This is what I would consider to be his kind of like standard TN setup. So this is standard size, and the width is 10 5/8 of an inch or 27 millimeters. The height is 8 7/8 or 22 millimeters. Now, you can extend that. There's an option to get the expanded. There's also an option to get any other size. You can get field note size. You can get A6. You can get up to like an A5 if you want to put a Hobonichi Techo Cousin or something like that in it. The sky's the limit on sizes, and the sky's the limit on configuration of how you want your pockets to go. And the sky's the limit on the color combinations. And the sky's the limit on how heavy do you want this to be. I mean, you can keep adding and adding and adding. There's one that actually has like a strap with it to carry it like a purse. How cool is that? Mine is 13 ounces. And oh my, the leather. The leather, the leather, the leather. This is Naughty Fox. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is so natural. There's a pebble effect, but it's different in different areas. So it's certainly not, machine made in a factory with like a million made at the same time. You can see kind of these rolls here. You can see like a more pronounced pebble over here, and then it's a little smoother here. I just want to run my fingers over it because it feels so good. It's so buttery. It is literally like you sit down to make pie crust, and before you've gotten the butter and the flour combined, it's just the butter on your hands. That's what this feels like, literally. It's a heavy leather, but it's very soft at the same time. This is probably a 3 millimeter thick leather. I want to compare that here. This is a HandStitchedLeatherT in mahogany, and that's only like a 1.3 millimeter. So you're talking more than double the thickness. And yet it remains so pliable. Like, look at this. But when you put the pocket configuration in, it gives it sturdiness at the same time. So I've heard people described it as soft and sturdy, and that's what it is. It's in the best way, like the best bomber jacket you ever had. It's the best baseball glove you ever had. So here's the HandStitchedLeatherT compared. I'll get out some other ones and show you as well. Look at this. I mean, this strikes me as like the difference between a Mercedes and a really, really, really good quality other car. But the Mercedes is just different. The Mercedes has something about it. You know how on a Mercedes, when you close the door, it doesn't go bam, it doesn't go crunch, it goes like that. That's kind of what this traveler's notebook is. It just, every little detail is so nice and such high quality. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the HandStitchedLeatherT. If you want it to be lightweight and throw in your tote bag and just have this like light as air traveler's notebook cover, the HandStitchedLeatherT is a fantastic option. I highly recommend it. Tanya is awesome to work with. But this is like an heirloom piece. Okay, this is what I was replacing. This is a Paromo. They don't make them anymore. They used to have them on Etsy, or I'm sorry, they used to have them on Amazon. This is oil tanned water buffalo hide, and I have rolled mine, so it has even more markings. So compare that to this. Again, it's just, look at the difference in the thickness. This one is probably like 1.6 millimeters, and the Naughty Fox is about 3 millimeters. And then something else that's really popular right now is a September leather or New Ester. I will put a link in the description to this. This is on Amazon. You only get dark brown, that's it. It's a beautiful dark brown, and when you roll it, you get some kind of cherry pull-up to it. It's a neat book. It's very, very nice, especially at its price point. It's a great choice. But when you have this in your hand versus this in your hand, I don't know. This is absolutely worth the wait. You know, it took, I think from the moment that I contacted Ting to when I received it in my mailbox, I think was a period of 25 days, which during COVID is pretty darn good to go all the way from Taiwan to Ohio and have the time for workmanship in between. So, you know, this can come in 2 days via Prime, and it's fantastic, and I think it's a wonderful starter traveler's notebook. It's also good for storing your past inserts, but this is just like, you know, you save up and you treat yourself for the Apple Pig. Okay, so that's a bit of a comparison with other brands, but let's look at a comparison with other leathers within Ting's workshop. So these are the other Apple Pig leathers that are available right now. So here's the Naughty Fox, and then this is Black Panther. And like I said, I'll make a video where I go into excruciating detail about these leathers because they do have different characteristics. For example, the Black Panther it's a little bit drier, it's a little bit stiffer. It'll soften up as you use it, but it starts out being a little bit stiffer. This is Bluebird. Beautiful, beautiful aqua color. This is Matcha. Olive. This is Duke Duck. It's kind of like a mulled cranberry wine. This is Apple Pig. Really pretty red. Very scarlet red. It looks like Ohio State red. This is Naughty Fox. This is another one of Ting's most popular colors. This is Honey Beagle. And I don't know if this is weird to say, but it's the truth. If you pet a beagle puppy, picture petting a beagle puppy's really, really soft ears. That's what this feels like. So Honey Beagle. And then this is very special. This is Sun Sun. Sun Sun is natural. So you can actually take this out in the sunshine. Actually, any of the vegetable tan leathers you can do this with, but it's most pronounced with natural leather that hasn't been dyed. You can take this out and put it in the sunshine and get it as dark as you want it. Anyway, I'm gonna make a separate video where we talk much, much more about the leathers, how they feel, how they smell, because they all smell like leather. It's a great thing. It's in the best way. It's like an overpowering, wonderful leather scent. Like, you don't just walk into the leather store, you own the leather store, and it's just around you all the time. It's a wonderful, wonderful scent. But they each have their own kind of nuances. You know, some of them are sweeter, some of them are spicier. So we'll get into those details in the next video. But let's continue on with the setup here. So we have Naughty Fox, standard traveler's notebook with super pockets. Outside we have beautiful stitching. This is just his standard stitching that is kind of like a whitish cream color thread. Perfect sewing, absolutely perfect. There's not even a tiny thread out of place. I did that. Then you have the bands, and this is just what normally comes with it, but of course you can customize that. You can get a different thread color, you can get a different band color. I like it that the closure band is a chocolate because it won't get as dirty as quickly and I won't have to replace it very often. So I just think this is like a really classic look, and it's beautiful and it's useful for me. The pen loop, you have choices. You can have no pen loop at all. You can, depending on what pockets you're using, you can have a pen loop that's kind of more like permanently secured like this toward the inside, or you can have them turn it around and go to the outside. You can have a super pen loop, which goes like the length of the book, and it creates like a sheath that you put the pens down into. But I like this one, and at first I wasn't sure about it being floppy because I'm not used to that, but it really does have its uses. It helps it kind of pull around this big pocket here. But I have considered putting a tiny bit of super glue there just to make that a little bit more secure. But here's how I have my pens configured. I take a Zebra Sensations brush pen, which I mention in every video. It's waterproof and fantastic, and I'll put a link in the description. So I put my brush pen like this, because I use that for sketching and lettering. And then for all my journal entries and planner entries, I use a Uniball Signo RT1, and you can see it has this cushy grip here that goes all the way from the tip about halfway up the barrel of the pen, so your fingers can land at any point along there, and they'll be comfortable. This is also waterproof and they're refillable. So I like the 0.5, but they also make 0.38 and 0.28, and they also come in colors. So links in the description. So these are my everyday carry pens, and if you watch my videos, you've already heard about them a million times, so I apologize. But I just put this backwards. So the Zebra Sensations goes in normally, you know, like just in the pen loop. And then the Uniball Signo goes backwards with its clip like this. And it's working really well because once I fill this, and this goes like this, and the band comes around and it holds those in place. It works really well, and I can carry 2 pens at a time. If you have a thicker pen, that's no problem. So here, for example, is a nice big thick fountain pen, F. Salvatore, and it pops in like this. And look how generously sized that is. There's plenty of room for it. Okay, so that's the pen loop that I have, but again, you can configure out however you would like. And then we get into the pockets. This is called, I think, a super pocket, but he has so many different kinds, and if you don't like one, you can make your own. You can just send him a sketch and say, you know, I'd like the pockets this way, and I want one pocket to be Bluebird, and I want one pocket to be Honey Beagle, and I want the rest of the book to be Naughty Fox. You know, you can get to that level of customization. It's amazing. So we have the 4 bands. We have the little, it's like a protector. It's like a little guard here to keep the closure band from pulling through or hurting the leather. That's a really great attention to detail. And then you open up the pockets and you have secretarial pockets here and here, secretarial pockets here and here. And he has very thoughtfully made the pockets a little bit thinner so they don't add as much bulk. And also they're chosen so that they complement each other, but they aren't exactly the same. So this pocket has a little bit more pronounced pebble. This has a less pronounced pebble. This has like no pebble. It's super smooth. So it gives it a really dynamic quality, and I really like that. Okay, then we open. And on the left, we have the wallet side. So as you can see, I already have my credit cards in here ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4 card pockets. If you wanted, you could do all card pockets. It could be card pocket, and then over here, card pocket, card pocket. You just decide what is useful to you. There's even one where it's a zip closure with a, like for your coins. So many choices, but here's one example. Then you open up this and there's room for your cash. And so if I'm in the store, I pay with my credit card, they give it back to me, they hand me a receipt, I pop that in this secretarial pocket. When I get home, it's right in front of me, I record it, and I put it in my file. Okay, this side has the secretarial pockets, and then when you open it up, you have another little slip-in pocket here. And then you have another, like, basically pen case. So if I'm just using it from day to day, like I said, I'll slip my pens on here. But maybe you want to have additional pens for drawing, like maybe you want to put a highlighter. And how about a technical drawing pen? And how about a pencil? So pencil from Papermate, this one clipped off. Let's have a pretty one. Okay, so a new Papermate Sharp Writer pencil, a Sakura Pigma Micron 03 size technical drawing pen, and a Zebra Mildliner highlighter. So these I'm using 24/7 all day. These I don't use as often, so I might tuck them away in the pen area. And this goes in like this. And Ting has thoughtfully designed this so that this little band doesn't get in the way of your pen clips. So here I have my 3 additional pens or pencils, and then I slip the cover over it like that, and then I close it like this. And the benefit here is that if you were to put those 3 lined up on this side, then when you write, you'd have even more of a pronounced bump. But because they're in here and protected, and then it flips over behind like this, then when you put your inserts in, it's a little bit smoother surface to write on. It doesn't mess up your writing as much. That's if you're writing like on your lap. If you're on a desk situation, you just flop that over. In fact, if you're in a desk situation, you could just put all your pens in here. You have your inserts here, it closes like this, and then I sit down and I'm ready to write. Pop that open. Here I'm writing and drawing. Let's use this as an example here. So here I am writing and drawing, and I flip this up, and there are my pens and pencils ready to go. Isn't that amazing? It's so well thought. So well thought. So I'm going to leave those in there to show you kind of what it looks like fully loaded, right? My daily ones out to the side, and the ones that I use sometimes we'll put in here. Okay, Now let's load this up as my everyday carry. So in the front, like I said, I have my credit cards, debit cards, that kind of thing here. Payment goes over there. And then my first insert has wrapped around it a Midori credit card pocket, and I will put a link to this in the description. And I have turned these business cards over so that you can't see what the cards are, because you don't need to know all my personal information. But I have my driver's license here. I have my health insurance card here. I have my auto insurance and AAA cards here. And it's really nice. I almost never have to actually pull them out. You know, I'm on the phone and I need my health insurance ID number and I can just read it like this. It's just right here handy. And then on the flip side, I have my own business cards here. And then I use the rest of the pockets for inspiration. So this one, I have watercolors from White Nights that just inspires me to use them when I see how pretty they were, all nice and pretty in their tin before I had opened them. And then this is a picture of a page from the Bella Grace Field Guide to Everyday Magic. It's a guided journal. I will put a link in the description to that. But this page is so inspirational to me, and it became kind of my mantra for the year. You don't have to post it to prove it. So there, good reminder to live our lives offline a little more often. The other, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets. The other 6 pockets, I have super personal things and family pictures and that kind of thing. And so I'm not going to show you those. They wrap around to the back. And then my first insert is a traveler's notebook insert, standard size, from Sovereign Gear. And it is my list book. So I have things like movies and series that I would like to watch and what channel they're on. And then as I watch them, I give them a grade. Same with books I'm reading. I also have like the hashtags that I use for Instagram. I have things like beauty records, health records, auto records, all that stuff goes in here. And this book is just with me all the time. So, you know, your planner comes in and out as you use it, as the months go by. Your journals come in and out as you fill them up. But the list book stays with me all the time. So Sovereign Gear grid. They also make lined and blank and all that good stuff. So I'll put a link in the description to those. So that's kind of the first set here, is Traveler's Notebook with the Midori cards wrapped around it. And then the next thing that I have is my planner. This is a weekly planner. It's from Midori and it is undated. So I fill in the dates at the top. It's already labeled Monday through Sunday. I put in the dates. And the reason that I go with the undated version is because the dated one has at-a-glance calendars all through here, and I would rather use this space to write. So I get the undated. They last 6 months at a time. So you need 2 of these for the year. And these stickers are from Paper House Productions. They are their seasonal sticker book. You can get them on Amazon, and I have a link in the description to them. They are by far my favorite stickers ever. If I could only have one set of Traveler's Notebook stickers or functional planning stickers, it would be these. They have all the seasons and all the months and all the holidays all in one nice, tidy little set. So that's my planner piece, and that goes next, and I will put that in here without showing you all the personal pictures. Okay, then our next set, number 3 for an insert, is my journal. And right now I've been doing just kind of a series of Traveler's Notebook inserts. You know, I did a Midori 001 because I love Midori paper. I have used Wanderings inserts, but I think right now they're out of stock, but they're awesome. And then this is Sovereign Gear, and it's just blank. I really like this paper. It's thin enough, but it takes watercolor and all the pens that I like to use. So that's just my journal, and these usually last me roughly a month. But now that Ting sent me one that has 128 pages, that'll last longer. And then, of course, you can also do a cut-down Stalogy 365 with 368 pages to last several months, or maybe even up to a year, depending on how much or little you use it. So lots of options here for what's going to be the journal. So what I usually do is keep the current journal and then I have the next one ready to go, or the past one, kind of depending on what spot I'm in. So we're going to do with the current and the next. So this is, I found the center, and this is the center, one of the last paintings that I did to celebrate fall. That'll be in my next journal flip. So click subscribe so you can see my next journal flip. I'll talk about the paint I used and all that good stuff. And then this is going to be the next journal, and that is Ting's insert with the 128 pages. So I only have like 2 pages left in this one. So we're ready to move into the next one. All right, so that is really, it's like 4.5 inserts because Ting's is so thick. But this is what it looks like with everything in there, nice and chunky. Isn't that dreamy? I love a chunky notebook. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so we'll put my everyday carry pens here, like this, and then wrap that around. My tabs are from Avery. They're Avery Re-positionable tabs. I'll put the link in the description to those. This is a combination of the pastel colors to give it a beachy theme, and then these are the metallic colors, which just look nice with the leather. So there's bronze and silver. Very cool. And then this bookmark that I'm using to mark my current page in my journal, I just grabbed this at the library. It says, I have always imagined that paradise will be a kind of library. And the colors just looked so pretty, I thought, with the Naughty Fox leather and with my tabs. So that pops in there. So I have my everyday pens I use 24/7, and then I have my more like drawing and highlighting and sketching stuff in here. Here's everything together. Closes super easy. Oh, it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I love it. Ting, I cannot thank you enough. You are an angel. Thank you. So thank you to Apple Pig. Thank you to you for watching. I appreciate it. If you found something in here helpful, please click like. If you would like to come back and see more planning, journaling, anything to do with making your paper look pretty, or if you'd like to see more of Apple Pig's leather choices and the details about them, click subscribe. And be well. I know it's hard. We're getting to the end of the pandemic and it's weird, like what's normal and what's not, but let's just all do our best and get well and be well and have a wonderful, wonderful 2022 ahead. Thank you for visiting. Bye-bye.